Well, we're back with more Terra Invicta. We're right on the verge of greatness and also failure. So, a lot of time has passed, but not a lot has happened that's very interesting. Several more aliens got bagged and taken to the pen. We've lost various Mars bases, Mercury bases, Luna bases that I'm not in a rush to rebuild. We need to kind of shepherd what we have. I got green arc lasers, which allow you to bombard through atmosphere, and then I posted a small green arc nose-mounted laser bombard over both Earth and Mars, and then I bombarded all the servant bases on Mars that didn't have defenses and blew them up. So the servants are really mad. Yeah, the AI went absolutely insane on the servants' parts. They were trying to kill me over and over again. And then in response to bagging an alien, they blew up my Earth laser guy. So my Earth laser guy was responsible for helping me clear out the entire Earth of flora infestations. It had gotten really bad. It's still pretty bad, but we cleared out all of Russia. Russia is now lining up. It is federated, Eurasian Union federated with all of this, South Russia. So Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, all ready to enter into the Eurasian Union just as soon as enough time passes. I'm hoping we'll free up enough control points. I mean, you can see we have quite a few compared to the last time we've checked in, to make some big moves. Why do we have so much control point usage? Because we control the executive of America. So the servants controlled America. That's 28 nuclear warheads and 9 armies. That's too much to leave in their hands. I canceled all their wars when I managed to get it. Now, to be clear, this took me like 15 to 20 turns to get in here. It was not easy. We had to continuously boost popular support and then finally wait until a moment of weakness. So I couldn't find a moment of weakness, so I created one. I just started killing all the servant counselors all at once. They were slightly over their capacity, and so when I started killing off all their counselors, their capacity, plummeted. They went way over capacity. They completely ran out of influence. They couldn't buy new counselors, which was a great moment when they were stuck with 3 counselors for like 2 or 3 months. They're back up now. They've pulled themselves back up by their bootstraps to a full set, but we still got them infiltrated. We killed our previous infiltration agent because she was too strong. She was actually the most powerful servant agent, so I just shot her. And then replaced her. It was pretty sweet. You can see that they have a very small ability to control other objects in space, and they're way over capacity once again. Anyway, I'm kind of stuck controlling this part of America now. If I give it up, the servants are going to try to retake it immediately, which is a real pain. It's a real bummer, dude. Anyway, by taking over the executive, we canceled all the stupid wars they were doing all over the world. So I've managed to achieve world peace, and we've got several more armies and a lot more nuclear weapons to throw around. Right now, we're on the verge of greatness. High temperature superconductors, which give us improved coil guns, are on their way out, but also the wormhole project will finish quite soon, so this feels like a good time to restart watching, recording the videos. You might notice down here we have fission outpost kits. So what this will do is we'll put these on small ships with giant engines. We're going to shoot them. I'll also have to get mobile science labs as well. So mobile science labs act as local prospecting units. They let you prospect any planetoid you arrive at. You can't send probes more than 750 days, slightly more than 2 years, which means you can't send probes out to like beyond Saturn and Jupiter and then like the outer asteroids. We're going to be doing some roaching. A fission outpost kit is how we do it. So you fission outpost kit with a mobile science lab lets you prospect an area, and then the Fission Outpost kit unfolds to becoming a base with a construction sector on it, which is very nice. And then it will have a fission engine. If we had a fusion one, that would be good. Actually, let's double check on that. Do we have Fusion Outpost kits? I have researched enough to get fusion. Civilian fusion reactors are definitely at the top of my mind. Yeah, okay, we can't. But I want them. I want them quite badly. I want them a lot. Anyway. So we're going to set up roach bases. These are going to be bases all throughout the solar system. Maybe Saturn, maybe Jupiter. Probably not either of them. All these little rocks that are out here, all the asteroids, we set up bases beyond the Jupiter line. So yeah, the aliens really don't like it when you go to Jupiter, but they go insane when you go past Saturn. They will not let you do it. So if you send a, one of these pre-made bases to the opposite side of the solar system, like Olorun or Enki or Izanagi or Ixion over here, maybe a little Pluto in your life, some of these little rocks here. Well, we can't get that far quite yet. We probably don't have nearly enough fuel, but I think we have mission to Saturn either on the table or done. It's on the table. So we can start taking some of those Jupiter rocks we've got out here. Now, in real life, Jupiter has an enormous number of asteroids that it has captured in its gravity field, especially closer to its Lagrange point. Notice up here at the Jupiter L4, there's just a giant asteroid just right there. It's literally just borrowing the energy of the sun, pulling it along, and Jupiter basically pushing it. That's not exactly how Lagrange works, but it's close enough for government work. Anyway, we'll probably roach up on some of these asteroids out here. Just make it so that the aliens have to divert some ships. It costs us almost nothing, and it'll cost them fuel and time that they could be using responding to real attacks. So you can see we have quite a bit of mission control. Soon, probably late 2036, I really want to ramp up efforts to blow stuff up. We're just going to suddenly burst above the 150 line. The aliens will enter into basically permanent war with us, and that's fine. There's lots of human space stations in orbit of Earth. That's a problem for me because they're taking up all the interface slots. We're going to deal with it. Probably not anytime soon, but it's definitely on my mind. But not as much on my mind as this dang base over here. So we've had 2 more surveillance stations at the Earth L1 Luna Lagrange point, the point of zero gravity between those 2 bodies. But this is new. Operation Swift Spear has showed up. It is a much larger base. It is much more heavily fortified. You can see it's got a surveillance array, a second surveillance array, 3 garrisons. So we're not going to be able to land troops to blow this thing up and steal intel from it. We're going to have to blow it up from afar or land with a huge fleet. And 3 layered defense arrays, which is bad. That's a very strong showing. And it also means missiles are completely worthless in this case. We are going to need more direct weaponry. But that's fine. I knew we would need that, so I've been keying that up. The fleet that's out here guarding it is not that big, 4 frigates, but these frigates are deceptively fast. Missiles are not going to cut it. These dudes are also laser frigates, so they're going to shoot the missiles down before it gets there. And these guys are pulling like 3 or 4 Gs. So the missiles couldn't touch them even if they wanted to, and they outrange us with lasers. They're a problem that I don't have an answer to right now. I need longer range lasers, bigger lasers, and the way to get bigger lasers is to have bigger ships. So I introduce to you the concept of the battleship. We have the battleship, which has a lot of hull weapons. Then we've got the battle cruiser, which has the large nose weapon. We are working on getting all those out. We do have a heavy siege coiler ready to go. This is a pre-built ship called the Joyeux, after the sword of Lancelot, one of the swords of Lancelot at the very least. Heavy siege coiler. This is a full length of the ship. It just spits a lot of metal downstream. This is a solution to the point defense problem we're starting to run into. It can help escort other missile craft because the siege coils, the shots will absorb the point defense, which will give the missiles time to hit, or vice versa. Each one of these siege shots doesn't deal anywhere near as much damage as a missile, but they are way more of them, and they're also way more likely to hit. There's also an ammunition issue here. This only has 100 ammo, and we didn't include a magazine in these bad boys. Instead, we've got an ECM, although I probably should be replacing that with a targeting computer to overcome the enemy ECM. It's got the liquid hydrogen containment, and it also has a heavy water sink, which I don't think it even needs. It's got a 40mm autocannon for point defense and guardian work, and then a point defense laser turret to back up the guardian weapon. 20 frontal armor, so it should be a little bit more survivable. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, we might as well pull this thing apart and get some better stuff in there. The targeting computer, and then a magazine. I guess we'll call this the Erendite. The Joyux never launched. That's a, how about Joyux Mark 1? We got her on paper, Captain, and she sucks. So we've chosen to remake her, and now she rules. So that's where we're at now. Okay. I don't know what else to say. We probably should also design a battleship. Go ahead and work through that. Nanotube armor. We're going to look at 20 plus pieces, 5 on the side, 1 on the back, just to keep any of those little ships with lasers from going back there and causing problems. Would love to have a laser battleship that's got good laser stuff. Got a green arc laser cannon. This can also bombard the ground, so it's not bad to have. Let's talk about a big ass support laser, followed by 2 point defense weapons. We may want to upgrade the Joyux's point defense to the arc laser. I didn't have that option before. So this guy is just going to be the one to deal with some of these small annoying issues we've been having, I think. Make sure it's got a water tank because it is laser based, so it's going to make a big difference. Laser engine, targeting computer for sure. ECM doesn't work right now. We need to get the alien ECM project to make it work. Let's see, maybe just more laser engines. We're just gonna make the lasers extremely powerful, extremely long range. This will be a counterpart to the Joyux called the Erendite. So we'll probably build these in pairs. They're meant to cover each other. The Erendite will be for dealing with smaller ships and flanking fast vessels. You've already seen quite a few of them so far. We need the hull-mounted laser here to just blast them out of the sky. It would also help if the main laser could deal with them. And then the Joyux, I guess they're now going to be the Mark III in just a few seconds. We are going to use them to deal with medium and larger ships by blasting them with coils. Oh, you know, we do need enough. We need to have very similar cruise delta Vs, so yeah, we needed to get up to 12. This is an expensive ship now, but that's fine. I guess if you're making a battleship, it better damn well be expensive. Okay, Joy-X Mark II showing up on the battlefield, obsoleting Joy-X Mark I. So probably in the next few months, maybe year, we'll just pop a bunch of these out and try to free Earth's local environments of this space station. I'm not sure I want to do it quite yet. I don't want to cap off. The other thing is, when we decide to start building all those ships at the same time, we're going to want to build a bunch of space stations around Mercury's orbits and Lagrange points to raise our mission control cap even more, just to have the largest possible fleet. I think I worked out that we can run about 10 to 12 more, as long as we don't make the fleets too big. We're running up against volatiles is the problem. Our volatiles will fall through the fucking roof. So we need to get a bigger volatiles mine somewhere out there, which the roaches should be helping with, if and when we get the roaches out there.
Lending my expertise.
The phenomenon known as wormholes entail 2 points in space-time connected via an instantaneous quantum tunnel, most likely propped open by matter with negative mass. Though theorized about as early as 1916, they have never been proven to exist until now. Our deep space scans indicate a localized gravitational anomaly beyond the orbit of Neptune, where there very much should not be one. Specifically, we are registering gravity flowing inwards from a point orbiting an otherwise nondescript celestial body in the Kuiper belt. Our readings appear consistent with that of an Ellis drain hole. In other words, we believe we are looking at the first recorded instance of a transversable wormhole.
Commander, we now know how they've come to our solar system.
Our astrophysicists have taken advantage of our deep skywatch observatories, as well as some of the new technology available to us, to study the primary alien base in the Kuiper belt. Their conclusions are unanimous. The Hydra base houses one end of a stable transversable wormhole. According to our researchers and the data our spacecraft have gathered over the course of this conflict, the alien wormhole can best be modeled as an Ellis drain hole, a previously theoretical, mathematical construct consisting of a spatial discontinuity in which the matter on one side of a wormhole drains into its destination. If our models are correct, this means that transporting mass to the solar system requires significantly less energy than sending anything back the other way. Our researchers theorize that the Hydra somehow moved the mouth of the wormhole from its origin in another solar system to here, perhaps by means of a probe or some other ship specialized for interstellar travel. How the Hydra were able to create or move this wormhole is entirely unknown. We believe that Hydra exotics were somehow involved. Skywatch observatories have confirmed a significant quantity of exotics near the wormhole's location. But several of our astrophysicists have admitted that truly understanding the wormhole's creation would require a grasp of physics so far beyond our own that it would amount to a new sub-branch of science. In any case, we don't need to know how to make one, we only need to know how to stop it. We are not picking up any similar readings anywhere else, so for now, we are operating on the assumption that this is the only wormhole in our solar system. If the aliens lose it, their war effort will be crippled. Now this is the easiest campaign, the tutorial campaign, the Resistance. Notice that their plan is to cripple the wormhole rather than go through it, right? That's why this is easy mode. Some people, maybe I agree with it. Some people believe that the Humanity First ending is the only real, true, and canon ending, and the Resistance is a cop-out. We'll learn more about that as we go along. We need to complete the project The Chokehold, but it's not ready for drop yet. So let's see if Mobile Science Lab is up here. Mobile Space Station Lab, is that what it's called? Space Science Lab. Allows you to prospect for space bodies. Yep, this is it. I didn't know what it was called. That's fine. When these two are completed, we'll be launching a set of roaches out into the world. We have just enough mission control to clear that without upsetting the aliens. Devolve Space Command has finally showed up, and we are better able to resist disruption to our mission control. That's extremely important because we're running so thin on mission control. We are going to prioritize that, actually. Okay, to get out to Saturn orbit, we need 31.2 kps. So we need a lot more delta V. Get back to that designer. That's not increasing very much. Even though we're increasing the attacks by an enormous amount, it's not really going up that much. And adding more engines is actually going to increase weight rather than lower it. I wonder if swapping the power plant out will make a difference. Doing the opposite.
Few things clear your mind and focus your output as effectively as a sharp blast of cold. As a thank you for being part of our course, please enjoy a 25% discount on any of our in-home cryo chambers. Superior Judith Howell, welcome email to her Burn Brighter self-improvement course.
Standing by for orders. Securing our control.
Ready for orders. Lending my expertise.
I'm here. Standing by for orders. Making things
I suppose
safe.
one thing worth mentioning is that for a number of my counselors, I've begun raising their espionage stat. Not to make them assassins or anything like that. The higher the espionage stat is, the lower the chance and the longer the amount of time before they are detected by the enemy, which means the longer they can operate freely without having to be washed using the go to ground command, and that's very important. I would also say that just not being exposed means that they're under considerably less threat.
At your
We haven't lost anyone to an assassin yet, but it can definitely happen.
I will help them.
You know, one thing I forgot to mention is that the Academy had maybe it was Project Exodus had an enormous fleet battle at one of the surveillance stations. I didn't get there in time, and Project Exodus showed up and absolutely smacked the shit out of the aliens. The aliens sent a reinforcement fleet, and Project Exodus smacked the shit out of them too. I don't know what's going on, but they are unhinged right now at fighting aliens, which is great.
Offering
I could use a partner, but they haven't done anything since then. Wow, this traveled for years to get out here, but it's an enormous source of volatiles, which we are in great need of. It's a good time. Gave us almost a 30% increase in our volatiles. We'll expand this base out here. Sure.
We've got some intel on our target.
Gotcha! I've seen this guy before and lost him. Well, maybe not this time. Not gonna let you go. More roaches are done. This one has to take off from the surface of a planet. Well, an asteroid. Really pushing the edge of our control cap here. We're gonna have to really be careful. Okay, say Mercury puts us closest to the sun, but also equidistant to almost everything in the system on an average basis, right? The planet that other objects in the solar system are closest to on average is Mercury, because, you know, everything else will spend time on the other side of the sun, but because Mercury is so close to the sun. Anyway, talk to an astrophysicist to figure that one out. It's true, but I just didn't state it very well. Okay. We need bases even farther out. We gotta get roaching. You're not gonna let me travel there? Not gonna let me go to this asteroid. And there they are. The roaches are on their way out the door.
I'll keep them safe.
Standing by.
Well, I was noticing
Orders.
out here in these backwater states, sorry to the people that live there, but, you know. Anyway, not a lot of people live there. Let's be clear. Low habitation per square mile. The points have been flipping even though they're defended, and I was like, there has to be an alien out here. And did a full sweep with a bunch of scanners, and yeah, they're out here. It's a motherfucker out here, so we're gonna go ahead and just shoot him in the face. Classic anti-alien behavior, to be honest.
We're taking power.
At your service. Time to make our move.
We are in control now.
Now, because we beat the alien to doing our mission first, we got control of both points back. It's trying to enthrall the second point, but it follows the same rules that we do. It can't attack the executive if it doesn't control at least one of the other points. So you'll notice it hits 0%. So eat shit, alien. They just wasted a whole turn and probably some gnarly resources. I don't know how that part works, but also I hate aliens. See here.
Where to?
I think we're ready to start stuffing him in a sack. More or less.
We'll grab them.
Ready to go. On guard.
Standing by for orders. What's the op? Surveilling target.
Ready.
One of my guys got picked up.
Going silent.
In Russia. Servants are poking around our Russian
Offering
bases.
assistance.
Reporting.
What a pain in the ass.
Target in a secure location.
Got him.
We've
Oh, we're gonna get some reprisals. Astrophysicists aboard the Huchrane, traveling with Roach 2, claim to have detected a gravitational wave. Previously, the direct detection of gravitational waves required a large dedicated laser interferometry apparatus on Earth. While proposals existed for a space-based device, the point-to-point laser communication devices used by the Huchrane and Roach appear to have unexpectedly created the conditions needed to detect the gravitational waves in a vacuum. This has made our scientists and mission planners very excited. So we can gain a bunch of science. Allowed for ships where the number of mobile space science labs is 3. Well, we only have 1 on board. We don't have a laser engine. And we aren't the Academy. I mean, events like these happen from time to time. Most of them don't end up on camera. They're pretty neat.
Ready for orders. Securing our control.
What's the op?
Russia's looking pretty big. Sorry, the Eurasian Union. I believe it has absorbed almost everything. Uzbekistan and Tajikistan are the only holdouts left. Once that's done, we should be able to use Greater Europa to put, because it gives claims on Moscow, and Zurich Bern, aka Switzerland, we'll finally be able to get this whole side of Eurasia and this tiny little pain in the ass all into one nation, which should free up even more control points. But more importantly, it means less defend interests, less running around to raise public support, less micromanagement of armies and nuclear weapons. They're all going to be under one banner. Now, let's be very clear. There are 500 million people in the EU, and there are 200 million people in the Eurasian Union. The Eurasian Union has a significantly different material and government background. The two of these nations colliding together is going to drag democracy rating down. The GDP is going to go up, but it's not going to go up co-measure it with the number of people. So the per capita GDP is going to plummet. Environmental stability is going to plummet. It's going to be a rough combination, but I believe that the European Union has the resources needed to pull the Eurasian Union up, and we'll definitely have to mess with our priorities to kind of feather it all together. But having such a huge state on our side means it'll be nearly impossible for anyone to break in. And as we've seen, aliens that are on our home turf have a much harder time. If all of our turf is just one thing, it's a lot easier for us to defend. We'll be able to mass launch armies, etc., etc. It's a good deal. It's a good deal all around. Anyway. Also, the advise mission, right? We'd have to run 2 advise missions. But if we just have one mega nation, we run advise once, we only spend 10 influence, and we get, you know, a 20% boost basically across the board to everything. It's an extremely efficient use of time to just blob everything up, paint the map. Victoria 3, Crusader Kings 3. I'm a map painter, baby. I'm splattering with ink like an octopus. I guess we should look at breaking back into America.
I will tell our story.
We're the dominant
Where do you need me?
societal power there.
We'll make things safe.
We're gonna start bumping other servants out until we can unify America under one leadership, our leadership.
We must pursue.
Not anytime soon. We don't have nearly enough cap control to get there, but we can start edging our way, making our way towards that brilliant goal.
Offering assistance.
Making things safe for our people.
Offering counsel.
Wrapping up here.
Violence is abating.
The people will come to our side. Public opinion is moving in our direction.
What the hell is this guy doing out here in the middle of frickin' nowhere? Wow, they're going all in on this. How badly do we want to contest them on it? I don't think that much. We have a lot of research to do of projects that we need to concentrate on before we unlock more research from like global stuff. I think we can actually afford to let it slip from our fingers for a little while. We've had pretty strong control. Sometimes we have two different ones controlled at the same time, which is wild. All right, you can see that the aliens have taken a ship and they're going to attempt to intercept Roach 3. They'll do it in August. That's a long time from now. Now, this is just a single small escort, right? Not super significant, but we are getting the aliens' attention, pulling them away. I was hoping for a larger ship, I'm going to be honest. This Roach has not been super successful, but it does show that the Roach project is working. Just, I was hoping for a bigger, more significant fleet.
We'll see what they are up to.
Standing by.
Alpha
orders.
29. So they've lost 29 minus 6. 23. Well, they also lost almost all of the original 6. They have lost a lot of Hydra agents. Our world, this these AI factions have been extremely active at killing the aliens. I'll be honest, sometimes I get sight on one and I'm moving in to take it out and it'll disappear and I'll be like, what the hell happened? There'll just have been another faction there that murdered it instead of me. I don't recall this happening in earlier patches. They weren't nearly this active, so I am glad to see that the forces of Earth are getting involved. I'm actually sad that Humanity First has not really done that much. They're kind of getting the shit kicked out of them. You can see they don't really control that many control points. They don't really have any space assets. They're negative on money, although they have quite a nice seed capital there, so... Look at the seed capital over here on the servants. They're nearly out of money. They're really running low. Quite low on influence as well. We may want to consider just continuing to murder them regularly. Just kind of wash their forces out.
Public opinion is moving in our direction.
Motherfucker has 3 salamander shock troop units. They are really beefing these dudes up.
We've moved the needle.
The online shopping guy and the electric car guy can squabble over Mars all they like, but that's just selling humanity short. Trust me, we can do so much better. Director Khalid Lashkar, during an appearance on late night television.
Based in Alashkar build. Ah, they've chosen to go Marines, I suppose. Very well. Critical failure is quite bad.
Public sentiment is increasingly with us.
There's a fair chance that this guy might get revealed.
Eyes on target.
Oh, hold on. Maybe we were protected from the critical failure because I had a protecting agent on him. Okay.
What's the op?
Yeah. I'll go for that.
I couldn't get the prepping.
That's another critical failure. This is getting ridiculous.
We've moved the needle.
Alright. Roach is getting destroyed here. I suppose one way to do this would be to set our initial velocity as slow as possible and then turn around away from the alien. We want them to start doing fancy maneuvers. This is kind of a shitlord thing, but we want them to be doing crazy maneuvers and such and just using up as much fuel as possible. Did we just not move anywhere? What's going on here, bud? Yeah, I guess I've just completely lost control of my ship. Oh, it's trying to disengage. Or just auto-resolve rather than waste time here. Alright, we're gonna shift focus. We're gonna try taking Turkey. So the European Union can fold Turkey in. I've been avoiding doing it because you want to get United Turkestan, which is a super Turkey Once you've got all that, you get a bunch of Middle East countries that I don't think we already have into Turkey. Then you fold that into the EU, kind of get the maximum size. I think there's also a very late project called Forward Russia that gives Russia claims on Mongolia. Mongolia has like less than 10 million people. I'm not sure it's worth... Huge land area, of course. Not sure it's worth folding into the Super EU, waiting that long for such a late game project, but might be worth thinking about. Okay, here we're picking up United Turkestan. Seems like parts of Russia. Maybe it's not going too deep down here, but hopefully it'll pick up parts of like Iraq and Iran.
We couldn't get them.
Hey, I'm here.
So we need a way to get in Turkey.
Ready for orders.
Also, we need to get Switzerland into the
Time to make our move.
Standing by.
EU. The way to get into Turkey might be to just kill a bunch of Project Exodus guys, counselors, clear them out real quick, lower their control point cap. How close are they on the cap? They have a lot of control points, so I figure if we kill some folks, that might give us some space.
Truly, I would love to believe that we will comport ourselves better on other worlds than we do here, but I am not naive. There will, I am afraid, be blood. Director Khalid Al-Ashgar. Classified Project Exodus security briefing.
Yep. Well, Marines they're real now. What do you replace it with? Improved shipbuilding techniques? That's very Project Exodus of them. Not a bad choice here. Exotic armor, too expensive, but superconducting coil batteries might be useful. And there it is. Adamantine armor. I wanted it so badly earlier, and then I fell off it. And now here we are preparing for the middle game and the late middle game, and it's almost time. Maybe we'll be able to sneak it in and make Mark 3 and Mark 4s of all our ships. Okay. Roach 1 is gonna get a visitor by the end of the month. You know, an interesting thing is this is actually a burning off hate from them as well. Like, any anger they might have from us attacking an alien or from attacking their allies, the servants, they're burning it off by blowing up our ships. They're just happy to blow up anything.
Will come to our side.
Well, we're heading out to Cabo for our 7th try on getting this damn alien.
Reporting in.
Well, we just lost both of our turn agents, which makes me think that I have an agent that's been turned. So it might be time to get our Inspire guy to start inspiring everybody, and also to go to ground all across the board. Well, we might get to disengage here. That would be pretty big. For some reason they didn't follow us. We burned a shit ton of fuel evading though, so we are almost certainly in tons of trouble, but we were gonna die, so we were already in tons of trouble. Wow, that ship shoved right through us. Alright, well, we'll see what happens.
Gets them.
Yeah, I think we're compromised by the servants.
Prepping for next mission.
Cleaning things up.
Wrapping up here.
Who did they
Ready
hit?
for new orders soon.
We'll be ready for new orders soon.
Every time I have to pay a tariff, I feel as though one of my children has suddenly died. Why do we let them walk all over us like this? Chairman Soren van Wyk, appearing on CNN.
We're pushing on 3 hours, and yet with the amount of silence in this video, I'm guessing the end result's going to be considerably shorter than that. Good to have integrated Earth space economy. GD Fusion is also a pretty good pickup. More GDP. Z-Pinch fusion reactors. That's good. That's good. That's what we want. We want the Z-Pinch. One of the roaches has arrived. Can't see what it's supposed to be around. How far out? Oh, here we go. We finally got far enough out. Where is 279 fuel? One of those bases that's on the far side of the alien influence. So we're going to turn this into a refueling base.
Mission cancelled.
Target secure.
Ooh, we finally got the alien. All right.
Securing our interests.
We're starting a wave of assassinations
I believe they'll
against
say
Project
no.
Exodus.
Targets
That looked
eliminated.
successful. So did that.
They won't
Did not help.
cause us any more problems.
Oh, but they're quite low on influence. We can just keep killing them until they run out of counselors. We can permanently cripple them. I feel a little bad because they have been the only people who actually helped against the aliens, but...
Ready to go.
Oh shit. Emergency redirect. There
Acknowledge.
is a non-zero chance we might be able to pick up some servant American colonies.
Turning up the heat. Ready. Standing by for orders. We're taking power.
Ready to go. I will try to sway the public.
Reporting in. Offering assistance.
What's the op? We'll turn down the heat.
Offering counsel.
To identify the larger machines obtained from the aliens has tested our finest scientific minds to the limit. They are so very far apart from our essential concept of a computing device. Sorry, I've been doing this for a while. It's wearing on me. But though we are now confident that they are indeed computers of a sort, understanding their exact purpose and function is another matter entirely. Their interface is designed neither for human hands nor voices, while even their visual feedback is bewilderingly sparse. Our best hypothesis is that an array of unusual spongy pads found within the most intact of these machines suggests some other form of sensory I/O, perhaps olfactory sensation, given human limitations on deciphering and emanation of smell, this is not something that we can easily replicate, though we may be able to create a synthetic alternative in time. The actual processing elements of the computer have been somewhat easier to categorize. As far as we can tell, they employ a highly advanced form of quantum computing and photonics we ourselves have recently researched, which likely enables them to monitor, navigate, and communicate across this solar system with an effectiveness we can as yet only dream of. Well,
Surveillance complete.
we might finally jam a foot in the door in Turkey. That would be nice.
We're winning their hearts and minds.
Public opinion is moving in our direction.
We're in. We're in. Well, I don't have any big dramatic thing to end on. We just have openings in Turkey that we are now exploiting. The AI is a little too busy to come over and put a shield on it. Normally they would put one on immediately, just as I would, but I don't know. I wish I could say that my killing them made a little difference there, but it might have put them in a little bit of a tailspin, a little busy. But yeah, I don't think it actually made a huge difference. We got roaches out, we have more bases out, and we are preparing to flood the zone with tons and tons of coil gun battleships. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should be researching the upgraded coil guns for real, but this is a pretty good research. Unfortunately, it probably won't be ready in time. There's a fair chance that with this we'll be able to get the super advanced ECM module. Not that we've been able to use it against the aliens yet, but the other thing we can get is the torpedoes that, when fired at the enemy, they will explode. They are shape charged, so they fire a conical burst and they'll explode some distance away from their target as soon as they're in range. So they can hit multiple ships in the process, and if they're in danger of being taken out by point defense, they will simply blow up and shade whatever ship they were firing at. So you don't have to physically hit the ship, which makes a big difference. You just have to get close enough, which is good enough. With coil guns, putting stuff down the hole should be easier. I mean, I'm all in on this. I'm all in on advanced missile warfare doctrine. I think that we're probably going to be going to war with the aliens before then. We're waiting to see a lander or a mothership start to head towards Earth, and when that happens, all of our shipyards are going to start spitting out battleships and battle cruisers of the same design philosophy you've already seen, although maybe we'll stick some repair bays on them. We are preparing for the next generation of warfare, and once that battle begins, it will never end. Once we go over the limit, we aren't going back down unless we are drastically losing versus the alien. So, man, what am I even going to call this episode? I don't know. I spent so much time doing it, and yet so little happened. Yikes.